A new car costs you $5,000 a year, while a $5,000 car can cost as little as $1,000 annually. The math doesn't lie. But here's the kicker. Driving the cheaper car could directly impact your ability to build generational wealth. Find out how these costs stack up over time, and why your car choice could make or break your financial independence. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now back to the video. Ever wondered how two people making the same money can wind up living completely different financial lives, all because of their car choices? On the surface, it might seem trivial. After all, a car is just a tool to get you from point A to point B. But let's walk through the stories of Sarah and Mike and the choices they make when it's time to buy a car. Sarah is excited to drive home in her brand new $30,000 sedan. It's sleek, packed with the latest tech, and comes with that unmistakable new car smell. She financed it through a 5-year loan, which seemed manageable with her salary. Her monthly payments are $550. And her insurance climbs to $140 a month because newer cars cost more to insure. To Sarah, it feels worth it. She loves the prestige of knowing she's driving a car with 0 previous owners, and the promise of reliability gives her peace of mind. But what Sarah doesn't really think about is what happens next. Within a week of bringing her car home, its value begins to drop fast. In fact, by the end of just 1 year, that $30,000 car is worth about $24,000. In 5 years, it'll depreciate by half, sitting at around $15,000. That's a $15,000 loss just for the privilege of owning it over time. And this doesn't even include maintenance, fuel, or higher sales tax. Contrast Sarah's approach with Mike's. Mike decides to take a different route. He picks up a reliable $5,000 used car. It's a 10-year-old Honda Civic that's been well maintained by its previous owner. Sure, it has a few scratches and some mileage on the odometer, but it runs well and includes all the essentials he needs. Unlike Sarah, Mike doesn't take out a loan. He pays in cash, which means 0 monthly payments. His insurance costs him just $50 a month, saving him nearly $100 compared to what Sarah pays. Over 5 years, the Civic depreciates only slightly, maybe $1,000 in total. That's because used cars, especially in this price range, lose very little value compared to new ones. Sarah, meanwhile, loses $15,000 to depreciation in that same time frame. Now let's put those numbers side by side. Over 5 years, Sarah's total car-related expenses, including loan payments, higher insurance premiums, and depreciation, add up to over $40,000. Mike, on the other hand, spends just $10,000, a difference of roughly $30,000. And let's not forget, Mike also had money left over right from the start. Instead of committing to steep monthly payments, he invests the extra cash he saved by buying a cheaper car. Whether it's going into low-cost index funds, paying off other debts, or even saving for real estate, those dollars begin to work for him instead of being eaten away by costs. Here's an example. If Mike takes just $250 a month, less than half of what Sarah pays for her car loan, and puts it into an investment earning 7% annually in 5 years, he'll have an additional $17,000 saved. That's without doing anything more than reallocating money he would have otherwise spent on a car. Meanwhile, Sarah's car payments and depreciation ensure she ends up with no extra cash, no investment growth, and a car valued far less than what she paid. So, what's the real cost of that shiny new $30,000 car? For Sarah, it isn't just the obvious expenses, it's also the opportunity cost. Money she could have saved or invested, but didn't. That's the ripple effect a single financial decision like buying a new car can create. Meanwhile, Mike's decision positions him for long-term gains, showing how choosing a less expensive car becomes a stepping stone to greater financial independence. But before we call Mike the clear winner here, there's one question hanging in the air. What happens if that $5,000 car breaks down? How does the reliability of older cars compare to the convenience of a new one? Let's dig into that next. Think a $5,000 car will leave you stranded on the side of the road? It's a common assumption and one of the biggest objections people raise about buying an older vehicle. But is it really true? Sure, newer cars are marketed as more reliable, but the numbers don't fully back that up. In fact, the average car on American roads today is over 12 years old. That's right, millions of people drive older cars every day without being plagued by constant breakdowns. This statistic alone challenges the idea that a car's age automatically defines its reliability. Let's look at what reliability actually means for a $5,000 car. Critics often imagine worst-case scenarios, frequent breakdowns, costly repairs, and endless trips to the mechanic. But those fears are often based more on perception than experience. Speaking from personal experience, the author of How to Get Rich by Driving a $5,000 Car shared that in an entire decade, they only dealt with 2 breakdowns, one requiring a simple battery replacement and the other involving a more significant transmission issue. While the latter repair was expensive, it was a rare instance that didn't outweigh the thousands of dollars saved over the years by avoiding a new car's sticker price, finance charges, and depreciation. Another misconception is that repairs on older cars are inherently unaffordable or complicated. However, that's rarely the case when you stick to common, reliable models. Take something like a Nissan Sentra or Honda Civic, models that are known for being cheap to maintain and widely available. Their parts are often mass-produced, which keeps costs down, and their simpler mechanical designs make labor less intensive. Need new brake pads? Expect to spend significantly less than you would on a newer vehicle with more advanced systems. Plus, these kinds of cars are actually easier to work on for independent mechanics, meaning you're not tied to pricey dealership service centers. Even basic upkeep for older cars doesn't have to break the bank. Many owners choose affordable options for routine maintenance. For example, service centers at retail chains like Walmart can handle oil changes, tire rotations, and other essentials for a fraction of what dealerships charge. This makes regular maintenance not only manageable, but also budget-friendly. And because you're not paying a premium to maintain a brand new vehicle with cutting-edge tech, you might find that owning an older car saves you money not just in repairs, but in every phase of its upkeep. Now, what about the elephant in the room? Major repairs. Let's say Mike, from our earlier example, bought his $5,000 car and, 2 years in, faced a significant repair like an engine rebuild. A job like that might cost $1,800. No small amount, sure, but when spread out over 5 years of ownership, it adds up to just $30 a month. Even with that hefty repair factored in, his overall expenses still pale in comparison to Sarah's $30,000 new car, which loses value every single day, regardless of whether it's running perfectly or not. Here's the key takeaway. Reliability concerns with older cars are often exaggerated. Yes, older cars might require repairs more frequently than newer models, but those repairs are often less expensive and don't offset the tens of thousands of dollars saved up front. Plus, with a little planning, a trusted mechanic, regular maintenance, and a modest emergency fund for the occasional repair, you can minimize the chance of being caught off guard. Older cars aren't just about saving money up front. They also challenge the narrative that only new vehicles offer peace of mind, a belief shaped more by car company marketing than by most drivers' actual experiences. But car reliability is only part of the equation. There's another major concern many people have about older vehicles: safety. So, are you really putting yourself at risk by driving an older car? Let's tackle that next. Are you safer in a new car, or is that just another narrative pushed by automakers to move inventory? The idea that your safety depends on having the latest and greatest model is everywhere, in ads showing cars automatically avoiding collisions and glossy brochures promising unwavering protection. But here's the thing, much of this messaging is deliberately designed to create fear and justify higher spending. Let's unpack that. The perception that older cars are inherently unsafe finds its roots in these fear-driven tactics. Automakers highlight advanced safety features like lane keeping assist, emergency braking systems, and adaptive cruise control with carefully crafted images of danger averted. It makes for great marketing, sure, but does it reflect the full reality of driving an older car? Not quite. In fact, many cars that are 7 to 10 years old include the safety essentials: airbags, anti-lock brakes, and reinforced structural designs. These core features already account for the vast majority of safety improvements made over the years, meaning an older car is far from the death trap automakers might suggest. So while automakers may push the narrative that higher price tags equal better protection, the actual safety difference between older and newer cars isn't typically dramatic. For most drivers, it's about minimizing risks through responsible choices, maintaining distance on the road, staying alert, and prioritizing thoughtful decisions that contribute to safety beyond the car itself. And that leads to the bigger picture. If older cars are both reliable and safe, how do they set you up financially in the long run? Let's explore that next. Choosing a $5,000 car over a new one isn't just about saving money in the moment. It's a strategy for long-term financial freedom. By avoiding costly loans, rapid depreciation, and inflated insurance premiums, you free up cash that could transform your future. It's called the Sentra Factor. Saving $6,000 a year and investing it could grow to $1.1 million by retirement. Reconsider what your car says about your financial priorities? Is looking wealthier today worth sacrificing financial stability tomorrow? Wealth isn't just about earning, it's about smarter spending. Subscribe for more tips that turn everyday decisions into life-changing opportunities.